the heart and moves out into an action. You also, he also said, if you look upon a woman to lust after her, you've already committed adultery with her, because it begins with your heart. It is where sin begins. The natural question is at this point is temptation sin? Of course, it's not sin, and the answer is definitely no. Of course, there's not an exclamation point there. There should be. It is when the conception takes place, when the thought in the heart is carried out in action. That temptation becomes sin. Martin Luther expressed it in this novel way. You cannot keep birds from flying over your head, but you can keep them from nesting in your hair. Sin is the consummation of the act inwardly and outwardly. Temptation in and of itself is not sin. We all have an evil nature. There is no use trying to kid ourselves concerning that. We all have been tempted to do evil. Everyone has a weakness in the flesh. One person may be a glutton, another may be a gossip. Both sins are absolutely of the flesh. Both come from within. It is only the Lord Jesus who could say, for the prince of this world cometh and hath nothing in me. John chapter 14 and verse 30. Then, when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. There cannot be a stillbirth. Lust is going to bring forth something. When that evil thought in the heart is joined to the outward temptation, there is a birth of the act, the birth of sin. Now we rationalize sin today. We rationalize our bad tempers. We rationalize our gossip. We rationalize a lot of polite sins, and we even rationalize gross immorality. But the Bible calls it sins. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. There are three kinds of death spoken of in the scriptures. There is one of physical death, and that comes to every man. You can be sure of that. Then there is two. There is spiritual death, which is the condition of the lost man. He is dead in trespasses and sins. See Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 1. Finally, there is eternal death, which is the fate of man who dies an unbeliever. The word death here primarily means separation. Therefore, for a believer, it means that when sin is born in his life, when it becomes an action, his fellowship with God is broken. There is separation. In First John chapter 1 and verse 6, we read, if we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth. You cannot have fellowship with him and permit sin continually to happen in your life. The great sin today, I suppose, is adultery. It is something that nearly every person has been faced with, and it is has something new. I think that the emphasis that is given to sex in our society and the present day mode of dress has led to the committing of adultery probably more than ever has been committed in American history. Certainly, adultery, along with the free use of alcohol, have pulled down a great nation, the great nations of the past. Wine, women, and song have brought down the great nation to some outside conqueror. Rome fell from within because it was honeycombed.